Hey there, I've had an amazing question asked, and it's all about what comes first, branding, marketing, or getting out there and telling people who you are, who you serve. And I know that there is a lot of confusion. There really is about branding and marketing, and then we get freaked out that we're not branding ourselves properly or we're not marketing ourselves properly, and then people think that branding and marketing are the same thing, and people get so focused on branding being all about their logo, and then they ignore the fact that that's not marketing, and then they run out of money, and then they freak out because they haven't got clients and their branding didn't work or their marketing didn't work. So I'm going to kind of explain how it all needs to fit together today, because to me, what comes first is, it's a question of what comes first, the chicken or the egg. So as far as I'm concerned, all of those things need to be happening simultaneously. And the only way we as clinicians are going to get the feedback that we need about our branding and our marketing is if we're actually out there doing it, getting feedback not from our peers, but feedback from our prospective clients. It's called test and measure. So it's scary to put yourself out there, especially if you're terrified you're going to get it wrong. And as clinicians, we are terrified of getting it wrong. We work in a risk management environment all the time. So the idea of getting something wrong freaks us out, because in other parts of our lives, when we get it wrong, we cause harm. And when we cause somebody harm, things go bad. We get sued, or we're terrified about what the consequences of that will be. Not to mention that all of us are walking around with this deep ingrained fear of not being good enough, and that we're terrified that somebody is going to find out about it. That one I'm not going to deal with, but the other one I am going to deal with a little bit. So when we think of your brand, that's all about you. It's all about me. It's brand me, it's brand you. Your brand is how people experience you. So it's got to do with colors and language. It's got to do with the look and the style and the feel. Your brand is how people experience you. I'm noticing some smart people are starting to call this about brand experience or brand culture. So in larger organizations, we can remember what the culture of that organization was. So how we represent that is through our brand. We need to be incredibly consistent, and I sucked at this in the beginning of my private practice, let me assure you, in what we are delivering in terms of the experience. So to ask yourself some questions around branding is, how do you want people to feel when they've interacted with you? So for me, it's really important that people feel cared for, that they are more than a number, and they have been heard. It's also really important that people understand that we are knowledgeable and credible, that we have expertise and experience, but that we will help the client implement. We are a done with you service provider. We are not a done for you service provider. So they're all a part of my branding. So the way we communicate this, the visuals that we use, we're very much about uplifting. We're very much about potential and being able to do whatever it is that you want to do. One of my slogans is, if you want to go back to work, you'll find a way. Because seriously, everyone I've ever met, if they've wanted to go back to work, they've found a way. And some of the clients that we have worked with have had incredibly horrible things happen to them, and they've found a way to go back to work. So our brand, my brand, is all about this experience that you have when you come and meet with me, or you experience a part of my team. Now, for me as Jo Muirhead, practice building coach and mentor, that's about, you get what I say. I'm black and white. There's no fluff. There's no BS. I'm a truth teller. I'm also very experienced, and I can help work out a process that's going to work for the right person at the right time. I don't have a 7-step system. Well, I actually do, but I work out how to make that 7-step system apply to you. So sometimes it might be 8, sometimes it might be 4. It's about what's going to work for you. I over-deliver all the time. So my brand experience is, people know that it costs money to work with me, but they also know that I'm going to make them responsible and accountable, and that they will leave working with me with new knowledge, new skills, and have up-leveled to a whole new level they didn't even realize was possible. That's the brand experience of me. So what is marketing and how does it fit together? Well, you need to know who you are, your brand. When you know who you are, then you can work out who you serve, your marketing. So marketing is all about them. It's all about getting to the people who you want to become your clients. They're not your clients yet. Now it's your responsibility to help them understand why you, why now, and what happens if they don't engage with you now. So marketing is language. Marketing is communicating a story. Marketing is stories in verbal form. It could be audible. It could be visual. It could be infographics. But marketing is all about language. It's all about story. It's all about creating a compelling reason for people to want to know you, like you, and trust you. So marketing is about them. So in this program that we've been working in 5 Favorite People, it's all been about who you are, who you serve, and how you take that message to market. Is the foundation of everything I teach in all of my programs. Who you are, brand you, who you serve, marketing, and then how you take that message to market. Now, there's so many different ways that we can do that. I created the 5 Favorite People program because people were coming to me not having any knowledge about who they were, how they even went to market, and who they needed to serve, but they needed clients and they needed investment now. So if you're one of the incredibly fortunate people who has a bank of money or resource behind you where you can invest a lot of time and energy getting your branding and your marketing sorted before you need to see a client, go for it. But I will warn you that your branding and your marketing will morph and change the more exposure you have to the market and to clients. I'm not the same as I was 8 years ago. I'm not even the same as I was 3 years ago. So it will morph and it will change. The more work you do on this, the more you become confident in what you will tolerate, the more you become confident in what your criteria for success is, and the more confident you become in the types of clients you love to work with. So this is why I think it all needs to happen at once. But I do think as clinicians, we are very used to and we rely very heavily on the non-verbal feedback and the verbal feedback that our clients give us. We are looking for those behavioral cues all the time. So let's make it easy for ourselves and go out and get them. So if you're starting to talk to somebody about who you are and who you serve and you're getting blank looks, then what is it about your language that you need to refine? If you're getting, we don't do that around here, then have you gone to the wrong place? Does the need that you're trying to fix or help with even exist in your community? Do you have people in your world who just do not get what it is you do? I'm a rehabilitation counsellor. You have no idea how often I need to explain what that means. I've worked it out now. I've worked out how to say it, but it took me a really long time because didn't everybody know what one was? Okay, so why I encourage you to get out there and start talking to people and building a network first is so that you can actually practice, so you can become clearer around your brand identity, brand you. You can get clear around how your market wants to be marketed to, so you know whether you should be doing Facebook or LinkedIn or no online at all. And yes, there are some markets that don't want you to be online at all. I know, I found them. So I hope this helps you understand how to put the pieces together for clinicians around branding, marketing, and taking your message to market. It's a really, really great question, and I so appreciate it having been asked. So if you've got questions on how you need to go about that and where the gaps are for yourself in your knowledge and your skills, there's a lot of processes, there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of tricks that you can learn to try and hack your way through the process. Or you can make the investment in getting someone to help you do this. But yes, it needs to happen together, and yes, it needs to be comprehensive, because it is no good you having a brand identity that your market cannot relate to. Massive, massive issue. So I hope this has been useful and helpful. If you've got any more questions that you'd like me to answer, I'd love to be able to answer them for you. Please drop me an email. There'll be a way you can do that at the bottom of this post. And I look forward to talking to you again very soon.